Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel, Decor Chronicles. My name is Frank and today's video is going to be an interior design lesson. Now, at the request of my husband, who's been wanting me to do this for some time now, I'm going to start doing some instructional videos showing you how I worked through the design process of each of our rooms in our home. Now, if you've been watching our videos, you know I've gone through the whole place already and shown you every room and every design feature, I guess, in the space, but I haven't talked to you about how I work those things out. So today I'm going to depart you with 3 lessons that I hope you'll be able to take in. Hopefully it'll be easy enough for you to understand so that you can start integrating these lessons into your space and upping the interior. Oh, I think I just swallowed a bug. Oh my God. Nonetheless, I'm a pro. We're going to keep going. I'm hoping that these lessons will help you up the interior design ante in your space. So for this to work, I'm going to have to get behind the camera so that I can explain what was going on in the space and show you some things. That was I don't think it was a big bug, but man, it went down the wrong hole. So let's get this thing started. Okay, so let's walk the space. Take it all in, but as you're looking at everything, I want you to think of the 3 F's. The face of the space, the function of the space, and the feeling of the space. The 3 F's constitute my main goals in designing any space and will hopefully help you overcome the most common issues I see in unsuccessful designs. These concepts overlap and intertwine in many ways during the design process, so let's discuss each individually first. So let's start with the face. To determine this, ask yourself, what is the look I want for my space? The lesson goal is to determine, develop, and implement this look or design scheme. In our case, it's what I call modern British colonial. Once you know what you're aiming for, you can start looking for those items that speak to the aesthetic. It helps to write down the main characteristics of your look to help you focus on your search. The most important thing to remember is not to be so literal with every choice. For example, a deco or glam look doesn't need to have every piece of furniture covered in mirrored glass, or a beachy casual design doesn't require fish or shells on every fabric choice. For me, the characteristics of modern British colonial include 1. Bright tropical colors. 2. Lots of patterns, motifs, textiles, and materials that evoke island life. Now remember, they don't need to be exact depictions of, they can be references to. 3. Actual items of the natural world like shells and coral, stones and geodes, flowers and plants, animals and taxidermy, and just to be clear, all of our taxidermy in our home is either vintage or antique, we do not buy new, and even metal. 4. Pieces and collections that evoke world travel. And finally, 5, the use of modern and antique pieces in furnishings and decor. With all of this in mind, can you now see the characteristics of my modern British colonial design in this room? So the next lesson is on function, which also encompasses flow, because the function of a room will determine how the flow is established. And just to be clear, flow is how the space is navigated or moved through by people. To determine this, ask yourself, what do you want to do in this space? The lesson goal for this is to achieve a layout that provides for the intended function and allows for easy flow in the space to accomplish that function. In other words, what do you want to do in the room and how do you get around it? So let's break this down. For my living room, the primary function is as our main use and TV viewing space, as well as a gathering and entertaining space when we have guests. So for this, we need 1. Various seating options around the room. 2. Easy access tables for drinks, books, places to set things down on. 3. For TV viewing, we need to establish a comfortable viewing distance. And 4. Easy pathways so people know how to navigate into the space and around furnishings. In our living room, we have 2 ways into the space and out, and a main pathway to access all of the seating. Now you can also manipulate the flow so that it limits or stops people from going a certain way. For example, I placed our 2 coffee tables close to each other so no one tries to walk between the 2. I didn't want people walking through the middle of the room to get to seating. The best way to achieve all of this is by developing a space plan. There are many free online space planning programs and apps that you can use that are super user-friendly and intuitive. Most furniture stores even offer some sort of service on their website that lets you do this, but there are also plenty of independent sites as well. I happen to use floorplanner.com to create my room plans. Before you create your plan, you need to 1. Gather your room dimensions including windows and doors and any other structural elements like fireplaces, columns, radiators, steps, etc. 2. Gather the lengths and widths of the furniture pieces you intend to use. Now the sites usually have a gallery of furniture pieces to choose from that you can plug into the space plan and then alter the dimensions as needed. 3. Make sure that the furniture proportions are in scale with the room, at least for your foundation pieces. Now your foundation pieces are those pieces that can only live in a particular spot and once set in place will not be moving. In my living room, my foundation pieces are the break-front cabinet, the couch, the TV console and TV, and the rug. Because of the size of the room and the height of the ceiling, these pieces need to be larger in scale to be in proportion with the space and to anchor the room. Smaller pieces would not have created a sufficient foundation for everything else to be built around. Now, after you do all of this, it's all a matter of moving things around in the program until you land on a space plan that functions well, flows easily, and feels balanced. And this brings me to my final lesson, feeling. This lesson is twofold because the goal is to create a sense of space, but to do so in a way that is also visually balanced. When a space has visual balance, it just feels good. Whether it's meant to be cozy and relaxing, lively and joyful, or moody and enveloping, if the visual balance is off, the room will feel off. During this step of the process, you will constantly be asking yourself, does the space feel balanced? Now, I know that visual balance is probably one of the most difficult concepts of interior design to teach, learn, and deal with because it encompasses a lot of variable factors that must be taken into account. Every object in a room has visual weight, and the characteristics of an object affect what we perceive as its visual weight. Now, here are some of the factors that affect the visual weight of an object. Size. It's the easiest concept to understand because something bigger has more visual weight than something smaller. What it's made of, or the material. Is it glass, metal, wood, stone, fabric, leather, or something else? All these materials have a perceived weight value. Color. Dark versus light. Dark items are perceived as being heavier than something lighter of the same size. Surface ornamentation. Something with a simple profile and no ornamentation is going to feel a lot lighter than something that's heavily carved and detailed. And finally, even textures and patterns can add weight. For example, a wool throw blanket is visually heavier than a silk throw blanket. Large, bold, highly colored designs are going to feel heavier than something with no pattern and a muted coloration. If it's all getting to be a bit much, here's a tip to help you understand the concept just a bit better. Imagine a multi-armed scale in the center of the room when you are working through your space plan. Now, when you place your furnishings and decor items, you can use that to help you visualize better how the balance shifts and then how to counter it on the opposite side of the room. Just remember, everything affects visual balance, not just the furniture, so it's going to take a lot of placement and stepping back, adjusting and manipulating before you get it just right. But that's the fun of it all. So, there you have it. Now you know how I work through my designs for any space I work on. I really hope my tips gave you a bit more knowledge to help you elevate your interior design game. Next time, I'll talk more about why I made some of the choices I did for the decor and textiles, the modifications and changes we made along the way and why, and what we are planning to add in the future. So stay tuned. If you haven't seen our previous videos, click on the links and watch away. Please share, like, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel. We'll do our best to keep you entertained and coming back for more. Bye for now.